Hey and welcome. Today we will solve longest common prefix interview question, which mostly has been asked by Amazon as well as some other companies like so. We will explore two interesting solutions for this problem, so without further ado, let's dive in. First example here, we have flower, flow and flight, but only one portion of characters are common in between them, and that FL part we might return as a result. Second example, we have dog, race car and car, and there is nothing common in between them. Just note that car is appeared in race car as well, but since it is not in dog, then we might ignore it. Let's jump into the solution now. This problem tends to teach us two interesting strategies of searching through a string of arrays. They are called horizontal searching or vertical searching. We will explore both, so let me show you how. The idea for horizontal searching is simple. First, we need to pick one of the words from array as our prefix and cut it as much as until we find all common ones. And since we have no idea about which one to choose and based on what criteria to choose, we will pick first one always as a base string to begin with. Just please note that don't think about sorting array in this case in order to pick the word with less length, because first, sorting in case of a string will be based on alphabetical characters. I is prior to O. More importantly, sorting will bring you O of n log n time complexity, so be careful about it. And always remember that sorting is equals to O of n log n by default. Let's say we just picked our prefix and it will become our base string to find the longest prefix. But how will be the search process itself? The strategy is to compare items horizontally. That means one by one along the array. We will compare each word with its next to find the common prefix between those two first. And then here's the part that we will cut off non-matching characters from both strings. Now, based on the result of that finding, we will move to the next one to compare with that one more time. At the end, since we have iterated through all words in the array, we will have the most common prefix between all words. As you can see, we just compared the item one by one as we iterated through our array, and this is why it's been called horizontal search. Vertical search idea is also simple. Again, we need to pick first item as a prefix to begin with based on what I've told previously, but for this idea of vertical search, I want you to imagine our strings array like this. Now the idea should be pretty much obvious to you. This time, instead of comparing parts of strings with next one in a row, we will compare each one of our prefix character with all strings character one by one at the same time. But in our check, instead of iterating through all string, as soon as characters don't match, we can easily cut and return prefix up until exactly that character, and we can easily return it. We know that if we do more search and continue through our iteration there, that would be a waste of time at that point because some of the words will not match at all. We will write code for both of these solutions, so let's jump into the code. For horizontal search solution, first we will create our prefix variable and assign first item from array into it. Then we will do an iteration over our strings array, but keep in mind that since we already picked first element from our array as a prefix, our iteration will start from index 1, not 0 as usual. Inside of this iteration, we will try to find our prefix in the string from current iteration. The point is, as long as we can find our prefix, we will cut characters one by one from our prefix and then try more. Note that we will not move to the next string in the array until we are done with this comparison. After we've done with our while loop, we definitely updated our prefix at that step and we move on to the next iteration from our for loop here in order to compare what we've got from first comparison with the new string within the array, next item in the array actually. At the end, we can easily return prefix by default just for the case that when all strings inside of the array are the same. Now if I run this, tests are passing, and if I submit, everything is okay at this step. For a vertical search solution, again, first we will have our prefix, then this time we will do an iteration over our prefix characters first. And for each character of our prefix, we will do another loop, but we will iterate over the rest of words in the array. So again, we will start from index 1 until all elements in the array. Now here's the vertical scan of characters, and actually our check will happen. We will check if the current word from our array has the same character at the same index with our prefix. If they don't match, we can cut the string at that point and return it immediately. Just note that in this case, j is the index of iteration over array elements and I is the index of character within our prefix. And again, like before, at the end, we will return prefix by default. Now, if I run this, tests are passing, and if I submit, everything is okay. Now let's jump into the slides for time and space complexity analysis. For time complexity, we will have O of S for both vertical and horizontal search solutions, where S is the length of all characters in an array, and or worst case could be that all strings are the same in the array. That means we need to search and compare all characters of strings inside of the array one by one. For space complexity, it will be O of 1 because we really don't do anything special with memory except creating or prefix variables. So that was it for this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel in order to not miss out new videos. Also, I will put both arrays and strings playlist of mine in the description for you to check it out. Thanks for watching, and finally hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for the next one.